So excited for today's episode. You guys are going to love it. My dear friend Lisa is a copywriting genius. I mean, she's just the real deal. And what you're going to learn in this episode is the power of copywriting and entrepreneurship. No matter what business you're in, if you have a coaching program, if you're a network marketer, whatever it is, copywriting is everything. So I know you guys are going to totally take away so much from this. And also, don't forget my free community on Facebook, Network Marketing Leads for Life. It's a group that you can search and join. It's now pushing close to 925 people, which is crazy. It's doubled in the last 3 months. So guys, don't forget to go onto Facebook, search Network Marketing Leads for Life, join the group, put the info in, and I'll see you in there, and enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Network Marketing Made Simple podcast. I am your host, Scott Aaron, and each and every week, I'm going to come to you with short, simple, and powerful tactics of how you can grow your network marketing business, brand, bank account, and impact on those around you. And just remember, network marketing is not easy, but it can be made easy with simple steps to create the success that you truly deserve. So Lisa, welcome to today's episode. And obviously everyone heard that incredible introduction about you. And, you know, what I love about bringing other entrepreneurs onto the podcast is that, you know, everyone has a different set of skills and they bring something different to the table. And obviously before we talk about all of the things that you're doing now with copywriting and story branding and helping entrepreneurs and so many individuals really putting themselves out there the right way, I want to go back before we go forward because there are some people within my network that are not familiar with you and your work. So why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and obviously you began as a teacher, but what was the illuminating event or moment where you really found your calling and you found your niche, and that's when you decided to push the chips all in with building your own business and brand?
Love it. Love the questions. Scott, this is awesome. First of all, thank you for that introduction and honored to be with you guys. I love talking about entrepreneurial stuff. I always thought that I was just a great number two. For most of my career, I worked with amazing, crazy, visionary entrepreneurs, usually very, very difficult men, like the mad scientist people, right? And for whatever reason, it was just a really great fit. I called it the executor. I was the number two. And worked with a lot of different startups, and that kind of got into my blood. And I never thought that I would be a number one, you know, like kind of running my own show. But what happened is every time they would say, hey, what do you think we should say on the website? What do you think we should, like the words just came. It was this like little breadcrumb of like, I'm really good at this. People will write an email. I'm like, no, write it this way. Like you're not thinking properly, right? Like they're going to want it. And over again, it came back to how do I say things, whether in a presentation or in, you know, communication. So fast forward, worked with probably 4 or 5 different types of, you know, startups. And I eventually moved down to work for a big nonprofit for 3 years. Leadership development. I created curriculums and worked with millennials and lots of different things around the leadership area, personal development. I say that because that's going to segue into what I really believe some of the fundamentals of copywriting is, right? People say, oh, you're a writer. I'm like, nope, not a writer. In fact, I'm a horrible speller, not really great with grammar. So please don't put the writer kind of title on me, okay? I just came from a background of scrappy sales. How do you connect with people really quickly and easily? How do you make a great first impression? Man, if you can do that and put it into words, hello, that's where I'm at today, okay? That is really what a copywriter is. It's a salesperson in words. But I'll tell you the moment you asked the question, I left my full-time job. Here I am. I'll just paint the picture. I'm a single mom, 3 kids, recently divorced. Left a job without having another job to go to. Not my brightest moment, but I knew I was going to get hired. I put out 20 resumes, 20 curated cover letters. Like I knew the deal. My LinkedIn was all like spiffy. Everything was great. And I just waited for the phone to ring and waited and waited. In the meantime, I jumped on Upwork. I started hustling, writing blogs, like, side gigging, because I was gonna get a job. And then the phone never rang. And I woke up one morning, like literally had that moment of panic that just said, nobody is coming to rescue you. This is it. Pick yourself. Like, you have the opportunity, you have a laptop, you have a notebook, and you have a kitchen table. Get to work. And it was not a relief. It like brought even more kind of angst. And yet that was the moment, it was 2017, that I said, this is the thing. And I did it on Upwork, of all places. And I know probably people are listening going, oh, this is love-hate relationship, and mostly hate with Upwork. I get it. But when you don't have any other choice, like, you put your head down and you hustle. And the first year on my own, I built a 6-figure business. I did $125,000 in just writing gigs on Upwork. Didn't even call myself a copywriter. I didn't even know what a copywriter was. I didn't put that title on me. I was kind of like, I will do anything for money kind of title. But as I was working with more and more clients, building a kind of a portfolio, it started to come really clear. Oh, here's a thing. Here's a need people have. They have to put words on a website. They don't know how to do it. They're super smart, but they just can't spit it out. And it just started to kind of settle in. All right, I can do this. This is what I can do. So that's really the journey of where I kind of got today. And really from the end of my kitchen table with a laptop and a notebook, I'm just telling you, it's possible. Mom of 3 kids, working from home, you can build a really kick-ass business.
Amazing. And I just want to latch on to something that you said. And we actually talked about it in the pre-show, where a lot of people, great entrepreneurs, great coaches, great network marketers, but their copy sucks, and the copywriting sucks, and the things they have on their website, and they have it up there, and they know deep down, like, I know it should be better. But just like you said, everyone is looking for shortcuts. And we talked about the whole Mona Lisa analogy, where you have what the Mona Lisa looks like, and then you have a little kid draw it, and it's going to look completely different. You pay what you get for, and you get what you pay for. And, a lot of people don't understand what a professional copywriter is. I think that's the biggest misconception. So before we kind of dive in more, explain to the people listening what a copywriter is, and most importantly, what problem do they solve?
Oh, thank you. I hope my mom is listening, because she still wonders what a copywriter is and what the heck I do. Okay. So if you don't know, please don't, kind of be worried about that. I talk a lot about the difference between content writing, copywriting, creative writing, technical writing. Okay. I can go on and on and on. Novel writing, journalistic, and PR. Those are some of the bigger categories. Copywriting sells. Copywriting is words that move people to make a decision, changes people's minds, influences people to take an action. Good copywriting always has a call to action button. There is always something that you must move people to do. Content writing, just as a comparison, is something that's a little bit longer form. It's meant to build trust, authority. It's meant to cause people to go a little bit deeper into your knowledge or into a particular topic. Blogs can be both copywriting and content writing. Those clickbait blogs where you read through it and you're like, that was short, and now they're selling me something. That's copywriting. A white paper or a blog about a very particular topic would be a little bit more content writing. Now, how is it different, and why is it important? What I find is that most of the clients I work with are super, super smart. In fact, it's not that they have trouble selling their widget or their service. Like, anybody should use it and need it and want it. The problem is that they're too awesome for their own good. They do way too many things. They try to overwhelm with people with, like, I can help you with this, and I can help you with this, and I can do this. Oh yeah, and I can do this, right? Because it's true. You probably can do all of those things better than anybody else. But it is not the one thing your ideal audience or customer is looking for. And you will outsell, oversell, kind of sell yourself out of the picture by trying to tell them all the things you do up front. So here's what's copywriting is not just making words sound good. In fact, copywriting has a lot more to do with how do you prioritize, How do you lay out the structure, whether on a web page, an email, a lead generator? How do you kind of bring people from the higher level idea, move them through the decision-making process, hit the friction in the roadblocks, remind them of the pain, show them the picture of success, call them to action, and then do the process again and again. So copywriting is really this beautiful kind of mix between art and science. A lot of it is sales, a lot of it's psychology, a lot of it is doing the hard work to really figure out what is the problem your customer thinks they have. Not the problem you think they have, and not the problem you know you can solve for them. And hear me very clearly. What the customer thinks is the problem and your solution don't always align. Sell them what they want, then deliver what they need.
That is brilliant, because I think, and I always talk about this with my coaching on other podcasts, that you have to put yourself in the customer's shoes. So don't speak about things, don't sell and pitch because it's what you think the person wants to hear.
Yes.
Because that's never going to lead anywhere. So you have to think about what does this person really want? What are they requiring? What do they need? What are they struggling with? What problem do they want solved for themselves and their business? So when you can rewire that process and start speaking to the person instead of selling, but letting them know, here's how your problem can be solved, you're going to have much more powerful content, number one. Number two, you're going to have much more engaged and potential clientele. And number three, it's going to take you and your business much further than you can ever imagine. But most people, they let that ego kind of get in the way, like, oh,
Yes.
I know my stuff. I'm just going to throw it out there, and they're going to be, climbing over the walls to get to me. But obviously they'll find out the hard way. That's you need a little push-pull here. So you do need to be in the trenches with them. So I think, Lisa, that was just a beautiful way of describing it. So you see, being involved in the entrepreneurial field now, you see it all. You work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but spending a lot of time now on social media as you do, being a content creator yourself, bringing awareness and educating and informing people about what you do. What are some of the biggest things? Because obviously, we all are students as well as teachers. So,
Sure.
I do what I do, you do what you do, and we're still in the trenches learning more. What are one or two things that you notice right now on social media, no matter what the platform, that you see people not necessarily doing wrong, but they're just not providing enough of value to the end consumer or client, that if they just change just a couple things, it would be impacting their networks that much more?
100%. Social media. So websites are my jam, and social media is where I'm bringing myself up to speed. But I think the same principle applies, and I'll share with it from a website perspective, and then we'll cross it back to social media. What I find is when people come from a very honest and want a servant place, they want to tell people how to solve the problem. They want to show value straight up front. The biggest mistake I think people make is they are not willing to talk about and discuss the problem and the pain that somebody is feeling first, then show up as a guide with a solution. And I see it on the top of people's websites, especially personal brands, coaches, consultants, trainers, educators, okay? They are like, I'm Lisa, and I will help you do this, and your life will be amazing because of this, and this is how I do it for you. All really important stuff. Don't lose any of it. Just slide in a section before that says, many people struggle when it comes to losing weight. They feel like they're repeating the cycle over and over and over again. Do you feel frustrated every time Monday comes around? Now you've got a platform, okay? Now you've hooked them. I don't want to call it a hook. This is not spin doctor shit. But now you have a hook. So in your social media, you need to talk about what they are feeling first. Don't be afraid to poke the pain. Then show up as the guide. So that is just a tip. And it's 2 sentences, guys. If you do the work to craft every one of those words because it's important and it means something to somebody. Too many of us are sloppy. I'll tell you what I find way too many brands are doing. They are writing like they think. I go to these pages and it's like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. Hey sis, I love you. I'm supporting you. I believe everything. And it's like you're word vomiting out of your head onto the website. And I know you're trying to connect and everything you have to say is pretty good. But good copywriting, first of all, we know that people do not read your posts, your website, your emails. They do not read it. You don't read others. So come on now, right? And you need headlines, bullet points, great pictures. Then they will circle back up and read your little paragraph, okay? Or your letter to the girls. I'm being real here because people just think that everybody wants to hear from you. Eventually they do. You do have raving fans, but you have to hook them, tell them the problem, give them the solution, and then they're like, I like this chick. I'm going to come back up or this guy and read what they have to say.
So good, so funny, because it's so true. And I mean, the same thing can be applied to LinkedIn because, when you're messaging someone, you don't want to verbally vomit all over them because, there was a proven statistic that actually says that goldfish now have a longer attention span than the average human. And that's pretty sad. I mean, that's pretty sad.
For sure.
But it's the truth. But so I want to pivot into, and this is important because we're talking about, the customer and speaking to them. And, you're very proficient at story branding and really taking people through a very, very simple process. And there's a lot of people that don't know what story branding is, and I am familiar with it, but I think it would obviously be best if you talk about it because and you and I are both very visual people, but we're also the types of, and that's what I love about podcasting because it's a very intimate experience. And my friend Emily Goff said this, she's a podcast coach, that you're talking right into the 6 inches between someone's ears. So they're envisioning everything. And I think pivoting right now and talking about story branding, I think is so essential right now. And it's going to help so many people. So what is story branding content wise? And how can the average person start building some of that content around that to really start having much more meaningful connection with the audience that they may or may not even know is looking at it?
For sure. And this is one of those light bulb moments. As soon as you hear what I have to say, you'd be like, of course. Why didn't where have I been all this time? Okay. Because it is the most classic kind of architecture in terms of how we communicate with people. Now, let me just start by saying what it is not. Do not ask a copywriter or do not ask me to write your story. Okay. First of all, nobody cares about your story. When we talk about telling stories, we talk about telling a story that invites your ideal customer to be part of it. The only way to do that, think about any great movie you've seen. The movies do it really, really well. What they do is they set the scene, and the first person on the scene is the character, the hero, who's broken, who's lost, who's going through a divorce, okay? Whatever it is, they've lost, Jason Bourne's lost his identity, right? Luke Skywalker, he's got this mandate to save, the world, but he just doesn't know how, right? Okay? It always starts with a character who wants something. Now, Donald Miller created the scaffolding for the framework of story brand. However, he's the first to say this has been around for centuries, if not before. There's a hero who has a problem. He has an obstacle. There's something in his way. He just doesn't have enough information. He just can't, stay on the diet. Whatever the problem is, it's the obstacle or the roadblock. And you have got to call it out. Externally, I need to lose weight. Internally, because my marriage is suffering and my husband doesn't find me attractive anymore and it makes me feel like a failure. You have got to call out the internal frustration that problem is causing. And then we talk about the philosophical problem, which is why it's just not fair. It's just not fair, okay? Everybody's story deserves to be told. That is one of my philosophical statements, okay? It's something where people go, right, yeah. You're cheering for the underdog. And now, once you've set that scene, the guide, if you're a coach, if you have a product, if you have a service, if you are, helping people optimize their LinkedIn connections, you show up as the guide. And guess what a guide always has? a plan. They always have a plan, okay? Usually you have to pay for the plan. Dun, dun, dun. But there's a plan, and it's a 3-step, 4-step plan that says, if you do this, and then you take this step, and then you take this step, guess what? You are going to see success, transformation. This is what your life could look like when you follow the plan. You can do it. I believe in you. That is a good guide. Now, what most people forget to do is a very strong call to action. The guide says, don't wait another day. Why sit in the pain? Why face another Monday feeling like a failure in your diet? And you're like, oh my God, oh, you save me. Like, click now, which of course you'd never say click now. Schedule a discovery call, join the program, download my course. Very specific, clear call to action. Please don't have more than one on your website. Don't have 8 different things people can do, okay? Or in your social media. Thank God Instagram only has one link you can click on. Get rid of your link tree. Way too many choices. People don't know what to do, okay? And then the last part of the story brand kind of framework is the 80-20 rule. I call it that. Paint 80% success of what life will look like because they worked with you. They took your plan. They took your advice. And 20% failure. Don't wait another day. Stop confusing your customers with bad copywriting. It's that kind of poking the pain and building a sense of urgency. 7 steps, super simple. Every website needs to have it. Every social media, I don't know about every post would have all of those, but those are the elements of story brand. Your customer is the hero. You are the guide. Never, never play the hero.
Absolutely. I mean, I was writing all that down because it's amazing, but it makes me think about my websites. And I mean, you got the wheels turning, which is what a good coach and a good mentor does. So, the fact is that there's so many people that you can help. And I have a very, very diverse listening group here, different backgrounds, a lot of entrepreneurs, but they do different things. And I know we also talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. Do you have an ideal client, or who do you feel right now in entrepreneurship could benefit most from having someone like you help them with the copywriting of their website and their websites that would greatly impact their audience that they're looking to build and obviously create a good relationship with?
Here's the bottom line, and why that the end of your question is so, so good, Scott, because I honestly believe that people want to say yes to you and you're getting in the way. And so many people could be helped. You have a great gift. They need your gift. And it's just the stupid words that are getting in the way and confusing people. So I feel like so many great ideas die because people can't spit them out, right? And so that is why I love doing what I do. Number one, geez, go buy the book. You could just DIY it yourself. It'll be at least better than what you have. So that's the first thing, okay? Follow StoryBrand. You can go to the mystorybrand.com. I don't even get anything back from StoryBrand. I'm just telling you what's out there for free. If you're a DIYer, we're not going to get along, okay? So that's fine. I'm not for everybody. But I'll tell you where the sweet spot is. I've got 2 sweet spots, but right now I think for the ones that are listening, if you are an influencer, if you are a personal brand, if you are selling yourself as the brand, you're probably going, hey, Lisa, I am the hero. These people do need me to change their life. How do I just play the guide? How do I make them the hero? There's this fine line with a personal brand that really is crucial, that you still write your words in a way that is customer facing, client facing, and you show up as the guide. So you're too close to your business. You're focused on the solution. You're not a copywriter. Some people get weird about writing their about page or writing about themselves, and too many people write too much about themselves. And so that is why I think personal brands, coaches, consultants, trainers are probably the most ideal people to get a copywriter, to get a second eye, second opinion, push a little bit deeper, get the words a bit tighter. That's who we're helping at the moment, we're finding, because as soon as you can get that copy clear, you're making sales. There's no long tail on this. Like, you update your website, you put it back out in social media, and you watch the people go, oh, now I know what you do and how you can help me. Click. Like, it's immediate.
Love that. And I think, and just for the listeners to know, it's not about the immediate sale, but there is, just like with anything, there's a system behind the system. And, we talk about entrepreneurship as a puzzle, and there is no picture on the puzzle box, as our kids have obviously the accessibility to, and we're trying to put these missing pieces together. But you can bring someone into your business like Lisa, who may have some of those puzzle pieces that you need for the copy on your website, where you're leaving sales out there. The eyeballs, once they get on your website, they're leaving and going somewhere else because they're not engaging and they're not understanding exactly what you do. So you are leaving money on the table. And again, it's not all about the money. The money shows up when the impact is felt.
Right.
And you can be impacting more people if things are put out there the right way. So Lisa, what's the best way where people can find out more about you, your services, your business, and obviously how they can connect with you on social to find you and follow the content that you're putting out there?
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So first of all, obviously I'm not going to be able to work with everybody, either in the price range or the timing, the availability. So I have a free resource you guys can use that you can get started with today. It's simple, but of course not easy. It's how to create an effective, elevator pitch or your 30-second one-liner. And it is just 3 steps, super simple. You can download that and just try to do it yourself. It'll help you understand who is it you're serving, what is the problem that they're facing, what is the solution you're bringing, and what is the transformation that will happen when they use it. If you can go through those 3 steps, I am totally happy to jump on a quick free call. Like if you get your one-liner done, you're like, hey, will you look at it for me and give me some feedback? I'd love to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so that's at simplestorysolutions.com. That's the copywriting website, simplestorysolutions.com. Right now, I am overdoing my content on Instagram and LinkedIn. And that's where you can find me if you want some really good stuff. I was talking about lead generators last week, and this week I'm talking about finding ideal clients online. So that's at Lisa Cumes, LISACUMES. And so I'd love to connect with you over there on Instagram and hear what you're doing. And the last thing I do is I always do a free website check for people. So if you message me through my website and you're like, hey, I'll do you a quick Loom video, and I'll tell you, I'm pretty honest. I'll tell you all the good bits and all the bad bits, and you can take it from there. We don't even have to work together, but you go, now I know, because you have blind spots that you just can't see, right? And so having a second set of eyes on it is really helpful.
Beautiful. And I think that's what I love so much about you and what you do, is that you always over deliver. And that's the thing, and I do the same free 15-minute calls with people just to kind of tell them a little bit about what they could be missing from their business. And that is the sign of a great mentor, a great coach, but someone that truly wants the best for those around them. So, kudos to you. And all of that information, guys, you can find in the show notes. So definitely connect with Lisa, follow her on social, just a wealth of knowledge. And Lisa, before we go, I do have one final question, but just wanted to thank you so much for being here today and sharing your love and your light and your passion for what you do with my audience today. It's it's very gratifying to have someone like you come on the show and give people those tangible takeaways. That's something that I'm always about, is, not making things a mystery, just really putting out there what's to be done. And again, can people figure everything in life out? Sure. But there are not shortcuts, but you can shorten the learning curve by working with someone that has put in the time, energy, and efforts into that. And that's something that you've done. So Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. You're amazing. So final question. There's no wrong answer, because it's truly this is what means to you. What does success truly mean to you?
I've grappled with this, because there's times where I look at the bank balance and I'm like, Lisa, get a grip. You should be super happy. And yet you're like, right? Success these days is waking up feeling like every call, everything on your to-do list is like exactly what you decided, when you decided it to be, and who you get to talk to. The fact that you can work with clients you love on work that you're really good at on your own schedule, I call it full thrive. Instead of full time, I work full thrive. And that's my filter for going, yep, today's a great day. And that to me is success. And yes, the dollars do follow that, but still being, I guess, in control, I suppose, but being the curator of your day, I think is showing that, you're in a successful spot.
I could not agree more. And I actually was talking about this with a friend today. And I said, I look at my calendar and it's a very, very productive day. And everything that I'm doing today, whether it's a podcast recording or a client or a discovery call, I'm loving every single
Yeah.
thing that I'm doing today. And I think that's so important is that, I think we all appreciate the journeys that we've been going on and we go through. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, waking up and looking at your calendar and saying, you know what, there's a lot to do today, but I love every single thing that
Yes.
I get to do today. That's it's such an important mindset shift, full thrive instead of full time, because
Yeah.
I'm in full thrive as well. And that's just amazing. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been so much fun. Like, I'm all lit up now. I have a client call after this, and they're not going to know what hit them because I'm like going to bring all of this shifting over into that and be like, wow.
Good. Well, and that's the way that it should be. But again, I just wanted to thank you so much for your time and your love and the energy that you brought to this, and really giving people something to really grasp and hold on to on what they can bring back to their business. And guys, I highly encourage you to follow her on social media, connect with her. And she's offering a free website check. Why not? Again, free only gets you so far. She's going to point out the flaws and what you need to do to fix it. But if you're really serious about having the right kind of conversions on your website, there are pieces to that puzzle missing that Lisa can fill. So Lisa, thank you again so much for being here today.
Scott, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have an awesome week.
Absolutely. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again so much for checking out this week's episode. And if you can, head over to iTunes, search for Network Marketing Made Simple, leave me a 5-star rating, basic review. I would be grateful for all of the support you guys can give me. And again, if you'd be interested in learning more how to utilize LinkedIn to grow your business, your brand, and your bank account, head over to my website, www.scottaaron.net. Fill out the form for your free 15-minute discovery call so I can learn more about you, your business, and how we can work together. And again, thank you guys so much. Grateful for you all, and I'll see you next time.